Hey everybody, welcome to drinknectar.com. I'm your host, Josh Wade, and this is the internet's place to explore the five senses of coffee and wine. Today we're at Caterina Winery in downtown Spokane on Washington, just north of Riverfront Park. We're going to go into this amazing old building, and we're going to talk to the new owner, Don Townshend, and get a little bit of insight as to what's happening here at Caterina. All right, I've been sitting here talking with Don Townshend of Caterina Winery, and just been great to speak with him about the new direction that he's taking Caterina. Don, thank you for having me here. Been appreciative talking to you.
Glad to be here. Yeah. Glad you're here.
Yeah. So you've recently taken over operations of Caterina, but when we were talking, you talked about the connection that you had with this space and this building going back for quite some time. Why don't you talk to a little bit about that?
Well, I guess I'll start. I came to Spokane in 1979, and wasn't too much in the wine scene at that point. But in the early 90s, decided to start getting in the wine scene because through my other job, I was selling air conditioning to wineries. And Caterina was probably the first Spokane winery that I spent much time at. And Joe Ryder, who is now managing Townsend Cellar for me, used to be the tasting room manager at Caterina.
Right.
So she now works for me, but that's where I met her initially. Right. And Mike Scott gave me a lot of input on how to make wine, and then one of the first wines I ever bottled up, we actually did at Caterina facility. So I was actually using the Caterina facility to do some of the winemaking, or at least some of the final processing of the wine.
So you had a connection with this building, and then at some point over the last year and a half, things changed here at Caterina, just through events that are probably too numerous to talk about. And at some point, someone approached you with, resurrecting the brand and resurrecting the image of Caterina. So how did that come to play?
Well, basically, the people who own Caterina asked if I'd be willing to at least purchase the assets, and I've always loved the building and the space, and there's just so much potential for this particular spot. And early on Caterina started in '93. Early on, they were fairly successful in this facility.
Right.
And then for whatever reason, things kind of changed. But when the opportunity arose, I thought, this would be kind of fun to try to resurrect the Caterina label. And,
beautiful building, and if you haven't been here, it's right on the corner. It's in Washington. You have Riverfront Park right there. It's amazing. So speaking of the building and the space that you have, and I'll show that here in a second to the viewers, but what are your plans for the space? I know there's some outdoor space too.
Well, we're going to leave the patio the way it is. We've expanded out a few walls, and maybe you'll see that, take a picture
Sure.
of that. We've leveled the floor out so the space is much more usable. We haven't really changed the bar at all. Eventually, if we stay, we're going to add some bathrooms. Actually, we'd like to do some pretty good sized banquets, catered events, weddings, all that stuff. We have the great patio outside. It's a great spot. If we get enough occupancy, we'll maybe do some kind of music.
All right, so inside this amazing event facility here in the tasting room, they've been doing some renovation, and you've got a great space to come in and taste wine. They're still continuing to build some of this out, and you'll see some of this change over the coming months. But we'll host some small events, some corporate events, some private parties, and obviously tasting rooms. People can come down here, and you definitely tasting room hours are. I wrote them down. They're Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 6.
12 to 6. Yeah, we used to be open every day, but we're gonna right now, since we're trying to ramp it back up, we're going to cut back a couple days, and if we can get things rolling again, maybe eventually 7 days a week, but not right now, Wednesday, 12 to 6.
So people will know this, that obviously they'll make the connection. If they haven't, then this will be a revelation to them. You make wine at Townshend Winery. You are Townshend Winery.
Yeah.
So what can people expect differently from the wines that you're making here at Caterina as opposed to the wines that you're making at Townshend? It's obviously not going to be the same juice in a different bottle. People may not realize that, but that's obviously true. So
yeah. Well, we're not going to make a C3 yet, but we're actually looking at a C4, which is the dynamite explosive.
Sure.
So it's going to be, but it's not going to be T3. It's C3 with T3 in it. We're going to make the wine here totally stylistically different, and I'm going to be involved in that. Dave Harvey, who makes wine for me down at Pasco at the Preston operation, where we do most of our production now, he and I are going to collaborate on how to make something that way. And he's actually going to, for the most part, be in charge of putting out the Caterina product.
Right.
We hope to. It's going to be a little more mainstream than what we do at Townsend. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. That we're going to release it earlier. It's going to be younger wine. It's not going to be as long aged in oak. The whites will be. It's pretty hard to differentiate a ton on the whites, but the whites will be different, but subtly different.
Speaking of wine, I know for 2010 you guys are releasing 2 reds and 2 whites. Is that correct?
Yeah,
We've
got a 07 Merlot and a 07 Cab, which were bottled about 3 months ago, and a 08 Viognier and a 08 Chardonnay.
So I know we have the Viognier here. Why don't we do a little pour?
Give it a shot?
Sure, give it a shot. So this is the 08 Viognier.
Yeah, this is 100% out of Willard Vineyards, out of Prosser.
And for you on a Viognier, what do you expect to get out of it?
Lots of floral, fruit, herbaceous. This one is actually a little tart, or what I'd call a little tarter than the majority, or what we would have at Townsend, because we have a Viognier.
You're also releasing an 07 Cab.
07 Cab, which we have here.
Then we'll cut.
All right, so the next one is the 07 Cab. This is a bunch of different vineyards: Willard, Creston, Cohen, Alder Creek, Windy Ridge, Horse Seven Hills, a little Pontine fruit in this also.
You said 18 months on oak?
Yeah,
okay.
approximately 18 months on oak. Still got a pretty good tannin structure, but it's
it does, you're right.
Nice. But it's approachable for something that's this young. And
well, I know that Spokane is super excited to have Caterina around, not only just for the facility, but excited to have you a part of the winemaking process here. I mean, I already hear the buzz about the facility, and I know that people will be coming in here and experiencing the wine and the facility that you have here. So Spokane thanks you for taking over this facility.
And I hope they show up, because
Yeah.
that's it's been a long haul getting to this point.
There you go.
We look for good things to happen.
All right. Well, life is meant to be enjoyed with friends. I encourage you guys to make your way down here to Caterina Wednesday through Sunday from 12 to 6, and they'll have live music for periodically. Join them for First Fridays specifically, where they have the art walk and participating as a part of that. And remember, life is always meant to be enjoyed with friends, so grab a glass of wine and drink happy. Cheers.
Cheers.